Hi everyone! Today I will be teaching you guys about the FOIL method and perfect square trinomials and difference of two squares. Excuse my subpar handwriting. I actually didn't know it was called perfect square trinomials or difference of two squares. Well, we'll get to that. Anyways, so first let's talk about this FOIL method in case you're not familiar with it. How do you use FOIL when you're trying to multiply something in quadratics? So for example, x plus 2 times x minus 4. This is complicated compared to what you're used to, let's say like this, where you would just distribute and you would solve that it's 4x plus 8. You can't do that here, which is why we're going to use this FOIL method. So FOIL stands for this: first, outer, inner, and last. And you'll see what I mean in a second. Going back to the example, we were just using x plus 2 and x minus 4 in order to multiply this and turn this into standard form, which standard form is, by the way, ax squared plus bx plus c. Standard form is just one way to write a quadratic equation. So you're going to do the first, outer, inner, last, like I'm going to show you. So first, we're going to do the two first, I guess. So x times x, right, which is x squared. I'm going to write x times x for now. And then outer, you can kind of imagine the outer two numbers. So it's going to be plus x times negative 4. Then you do the inner, which is like the inner two numbers, which is plus 2 times x, and last, so the two numbers here, the last from this side and the last from that side. So that's going to be 2 times negative 4. 2 times negative 4. So you're going to get x squared minus 4x plus 2x minus 8. Which gives you x squared minus 2x minus 8 as your standard form. So basically, when you're trying to multiply them and expand them, you would use the FOIL method. Now, there are some cases where I would recommend you not go through this process because you want to remember how SAT is a timed test and you have limited amount of time, and whatever time you do have, you want to spend it on getting the questions correct and making sure you don't have careless mistakes. So you want to make sure that you have some time left over in the end to check your mistakes. So that means when you're doing the test, you might not necessarily want to write every single thing out. So there are special cases, I guess. I didn't know they were called this, but yes, let's do the perfect square trinomials thing. So you might be familiar with this, you might not, but basically I think of this kind of like a shortcut, and I'll prove to you that this is true, but here's like the shortcut. A plus b squared equals to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So just stick with me for a bit and I'll show you. A minus b squared equals to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So let's say, using an example, this would work for when you have, I don't know, x plus 5. You would get a squared, in this case a is x and b is 5. So you would get x squared plus 2ab plus b squared, which is x squared plus 10x plus 25. Now, using a different example, let's just say x minus 2 the whole squared, you would get x squared minus 2a, in this case is x, and b in this case is 2, okay? And then plus b squared, which is 2 squared. So your answer would be x squared minus 4x plus 4. So why is this important? You could have done this instead. So let's use this one, for example, to prove to you that this is just like a shortcut way instead of having to FOIL it all out. So Ideally, you wouldn't have to write this out, as in, for example, when I'm presented x plus 3 the whole squared, I just know immediately, just because I'm used to this now and I've done this a million times, that it's x squared plus 6x plus 9, because, you know, this is the 2ab part, this is the b squared, and this is the a squared part. You want to be able to recognize it very fast and like to get used to that, because it'll show up often and they'll ask you to factorize, and you won't necessarily want to spend your time foiling it out every single time. So to prove that this is just like a shortcut way instead of foiling, here I'll do the foiling method as well. X plus 3 times x plus 3. Right? So first, the x squared, outer is 3x, inner is also 3x, and last is 9. What do you get? X squared plus 6x plus 9, which is exactly what we just figured out, but it's much, you consume much less time, if that makes sense. I think I said that wrong. You don't take as much time trying to do that, so I would recommend that you try to remember this. So one reason is for time, like you want to remember it because it's shorter, and the other reason is because there are a lot of questions where you'll realize that the easiest way to solve this is like to understand, to be able to quickly recognize like examples like this. So for example, what I mean, you already seen that x squared plus 10x plus 25, x squared minus 4x plus 4. I would recommend you be able to go all the way to like, I don't know, this probably. So you would go x squared plus 12x plus 36. As in, you also want to know what x plus 1 the whole squared is, which is x squared plus 2x plus 1, and you want to know everything in between. So like x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3, x plus 4, as in like as soon as you see it, you should be able to recognize it and change it to either form. So either this way or that way. So if I saw, I don't know, x squared minus 10x plus 25, I would be able to tell after getting used to this method that, okay, I've noticed that this is 5 squared. This is negative 5 divided by 2. So that gives me x minus 5 squared. Got it? Okay, good. Now, the other rule that is quite important as well is called the difference of two squares, which I also just learned. Difference of two squares. I would say this one also shows up just as often as the other one I just mentioned. A plus b A plus b times a minus b is going to make a squared minus b squared. And I'll prove it to you with a example. So let's say you had x minus 7 times x plus 7. So yes, note that it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, like the order can be switched because you're just multiplying it anyway. This, according to my difference of two squares, like I guess special rule, it gives me that x squared minus 7 squared, which is x squared minus 49. Now to prove this to you, let's FOIL it out again, and also to practice foiling. So first, x squared, outer plus 7x, inner minus 7x, and last minus 49. So you see how 7x minus 7x just cancels, right? This is just 0, which means x squared minus 49. There you go. So to summarize this, you want to know how to FOIL, obviously. That's very, very basic. Make sure that you never make a mistake on that. If you make a careless mistake, that's stupid, and you're gonna beat yourself up afterwards. So don't do that. And then also get really good at and get used to perfect square trinomial. So I don't know, like write it on your wall if you have to. Oh goodness, I forgot to add a b here. But yeah, get really used to this. Every time you see either way, like this way or that way, you should be able to recognize it. And then the third one is difference of two squares. A plus b times a minus b is a squared minus b squared. Okay, good luck. Bye.